Good morning, DeAndre. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes.
All right. What's up, man? Thank you for being on time and early. Very much appreciated. So the purpose of this call is coming off of the training that we had in the office on Monday. Well, not in the office, but that we had as an office on Monday. And during that call, what we did was I went with some impromptu role play. And what I found is that we aren't ready for the lights to come on. We're much like Jared Goff in the Super Bowl. So we want to get there. We want to get to the appointment, either for buyers or for sellers. But then when that time comes, we're not equipped and prepared with what to say, how to say it, or to answer the question. So that's why I put in this set of calls, and it's going to be every Wednesday at 8:30, and this is totally different from what we're going to be doing on Thursday. So Thursday for the Zoom meetings, we'll still be doing those, but I just wanted to make sure that everyone has a chance to do some type of role playing, because I believe, and numbers and studies show, that the more you do something, the more comfortable you get doing it. And then, therefore, when the lights are on, the money is on the line, then it is smoother and better. So we're going to go with that. So I don't know if anyone else is on the line right now, but I know DeAndre is. So DeAndre, I am going to ask if you are comfortable, and the answer really doesn't matter because we're going to do it anyway. I'm going to ask if you're comfortable doing a role play with me being the buyer and you being the agent.
Yes.
Okay. So the way I would like to do this, we're going to do this even though we're on the phone. We're going to do this as if we are face-to-face. We are meeting for the first time. This is our buyer consultation, okay?
Okay.
Now, with that being said, we're making a few assumptions. We're assuming that you've already gone through and have gathered information on LP Mama, location, price, motivation, agent, mortgage, and you've already set the appointment. So we're making that assumption. So you can go ahead and build off of assumptions that you want to make. So you can say, I know that we've already talked and you want to live in Hollywood. These are, and you can run with it from there. Or I might make a statement that says, as we previously stated, I do want to move by December. Okay? So just so that we're good there. And this is not to stump you. This is just for us to get in the flow so that we're practicing, so that because you're coming in, DeAndre, you're coming in contact with a lot of buyers, right? So what we need is make sure that our flow and our delivery is smooth and that we're adding more tools to our toolbox. Got it?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we are at Starbucks right now. We just sat down, and I'm just going to kick it off. You ready to rock and roll, sir?
Absolutely.
All right. DeAndre?
Yes, DeAndre. How you doing, sir?
Yeah, I'm fantastic. Thank you for meeting with me, man. I really appreciate you meeting here at the Starbucks that's close to my house.
Well, thank you so much for actually coming and inviting me. Neil?
Yes.
Okay.
Here we go.
Okay. Well, listen, tell me a little bit more about where you're from. I just want to get to know who you are as a client, that way I could best help serve you and find the best house at the best price for you. Are you originally from this area?
No, I'm originally from Alabama. I've been down here for about 14 years. So now, if you hear me say y'all and all that stuff, then understand that it's my country twang coming out, okay?
Okay. So 14 years, you pretty much like the area, so.
Man, I love it down here. I think that Miami was built for me, and everything up until the point I came with this preparation, man.
Hey, I totally understand. I'm actually from Virginia myself. and I can't get away from this weather and the beach. I tell you, it's just great for me.
Look, you know what's crazy? Even though I'm down here, I don't go to the beach that much. I mean, I probably right now where I'm renting, I live maybe 5 or 6 minutes from the beach, but I hardly ever go.
Okay. You know what? I live right on the beach, and I did the same thing. Never went, and until I moved off the beach, then I made it a point, like a priority to actually move, go to the beach. So how backward is that, right? Okay.
Right.
Now let me ask you something, Neil.
Yes.
Is that something that's important to you as far as location and as far as commute to the beach? Is that something that's important to you in your next home?
Not as far as the location to the beach. The reason I live close to the beach is, and thank you for asking, is because I need to be close to 95, or maybe not 95, but travel is important to me because for ease of travel, because I have to get to the airports frequently. So it's either me getting to Fort Lauderdale or Miami because I'm a flight attendant. Right? Okay. So I need to be able to get on and off. And like I said, I found this rental that was east, and I'm 5 minutes from the beach, but I'm 1 minute from I-95.
Sounds perfect. I mean, I do understand. I travel quite often myself, and with this traffic down here in South Florida, it's like a hit or miss. So Eastern 95 would be somewhat ideal for you, correct?
I mean, I've been living. Like I said, I've been renting here for about 4 years, so it would be really good because I'm used to being east of 95.
Okay. Now let me ask you this. Now, are we looking for specifically a condo or a single-family home? Which would be ideal for you and your family?
I think that I think a condo would suit me better, just because of how much I'm not home, right, with the traveling. But I really don't like elevators, right? So coming from Alabama, I don't like waiting for elevators. And this might be an unusual request, but I would love for it to be on the first floor, if at all possible. Or if it was on the second floor and I could take the stairs. I just don't like waiting for people. And, I want to be able to get in and get out.
I get it. No patience. I got to get a man on the go. I understand.
I like to call it efficiency, but if you want to say no patience, then we will call it that.
Well, that's good. Now, let me ask you this, Neil. How big is your family? Do you have any kids?
So it's my wife and my son, yes.
Okay, great. Now, how old is your
son? He's 10.
Okay. He's 10.
Oh, well, and you know what I forgot to say, and this is my story, mention everything. We do have a 10-pound dog.
Okay, you do have a dog. Okay, 10 pounds. Okay, and some of your condos that we do have, the condo association have like restrictions on pets, so we'll figure that out and we'll cross that bridge once we get to it. But the property that I actually start to look and send you, I'll make sure that the pet restrictions are a little relaxed. Sounds good?
Okay, thank you. Sounds good.
Okay. Now let me ask you this: have you already been pre-qualified, or you have a lender already?
Hold on 1 second. If someone is listening in, we're all unmuted, so if you guys could just mute your phone, it would be greatly appreciated. All right, go ahead, DeAndre.
I just wanted to ask, have you already been pre-qualified by your lender, or do you have a lender that you're working with?
Yeah, so I do have a lender. He's been a long-time friend of mine, and I have been pre-approved. Now, he said that it was a convention, that I'm pre-approved conventional, but I have to put 20% down.
Okay. All right. And this is this your first property?
Not my first. It's my first one buying down here, but I've had a small townhouse up in Alabama about 15 years ago before I moved.
So you do have a okay. So you
No, I sold that one.
Oh, you sold that one. Okay, great.
Yeah,
Congratulations
I sold
on that.
one in Alabama, and I'm here now, and I'm renting, and now I don't have any property.
Okay. Now let me ask you, what's your time frame as far as moving into the new place? When your lease is up?
My lease is up. Hold on, that's a good question. I've been here so long that I don't even know when my lease renews.
Oh, Lord, Neil, come on now.
Now, let me see. Okay, so my lease is up in, I hope this isn't a problem. My lease is up in April 3rd.
Okay, so that means we really need to get all of our documentation to your lender to make sure that you have everything in order before we go out and start looking at properties. The last thing we want to do is really start to look at properties, and then, the approval is not successful based on stipulations of documents that need to be submitted. So April is right around the corner. Are you prepared to provide all your documentation to your lender so we can get this process started?
Yeah, I mean, I've already given them everything like 3 months ago, but I mean, if I've given updated stuff, I can. But now, then also with the lease, I mean, if I have to go on a month-to-month or, like a 2-month deal, for that, we can do that. I want to find a place, and I don't want to be rushed and pushed into something that we don't like.
Sounds good. And you know what? Buyer's remorse, that's something that I do not want to have that happen. Okay, great. So as far as April, now how many bedrooms are we looking for? Are you needing 3, or you needing now? Do your son live with you full time, or?
Yes, he does, and we only need a 2-bedroom, but then if we can have like a den space or a loft space, or maybe not a loft, but just some area where I can put my computer, because when I'm not flying and traveling, and my wife, she works from home, so maybe we could have like a little nook where she can have a desk, or if I'm home, I could just pop open and look at my YouTube videos and everything there. That would be kind of cool.
Sounds good. Also.
Oh, hold on, DeAndre.
Yes,
sir. I have to have 2 bathrooms. So 2 bedrooms. And I have to have that second bathroom because, man, having my wife and my son fight over 1 bathroom is not an option.
I definitely understand that. Neil, question for you. How big is the living area that you're currently in? How many square feet is it?
Right now we are cramped, man. With the 3 of us, we're in about 8, well, maybe 1,000. No, not 1,000. Right at 900 square feet. So, and I know it might not be a big deal, but if I could get like 1,100 to maybe 1,200, I think that those 300 square feet would be kind of big. And if those could be more so in the living area, because we don't spend much time in our rooms. We're usually out as a family. I think 1,200, like anything, well, actually anything over 1,100 would be awesome.
Okay, sounds good. Now, as far as the location, now, you're currently in Hollywood. Now, let me ask you, if I was to find the right place at the right price, are you willing to go a little bit north or a little bit south of Hollywood?
I mean, oh yes. So, well, hold on. I don't want to get too excited. North, yes. So I can go up north as far as Fort Lauderdale, and I would even be willing to go maybe as far west. So if we go as north as Fort Lauderdale, when I say Fort Lauderdale, I'm thinking just north of Broward Boulevard.
Okay.
And as far west, I would be willing to go as west as 441 or State Road 7.
Okay.
Now, south, I don't want to go, and forgive me if you live in Miami-Dade, DeAndre, but I don't want to go I do not want to go into Dade County to live. And that's because I want to be able to get my son to school and everything easier.
Okay. Now, I just want to put this out. Hollandale. Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to come into. Yeah, Hollandale will probably be the further south, but it's right down the street from Hollywood as well, so I get it. Yeah. That's understandable. Sounds good. Now, as far as condos, now, are you open to a townhouse as well, like townhouse that still within the same proximity of your ideal location, if that's something that suits your needs?
Now, if the community, are townhouse communities gated, or is there some kind of security there? And like I said, because my main concern is when I'm not home and my wife and my son are. So if the townhouse is in a gated community, then yes. But if it's like a just drive up and I can see the townhouse from a major road or just from the corner, you know, like some of the smaller townhouses that I've seen, or row houses, I don't want that. I do want some type of security in there for my family.
Okay. And also, Neil, I'm sorry, I asked a lot of questions, so therefore we can narrow it down to find the best possible property for you.
No, that's fine with me, because I had, like, as I'm answering these questions, I'm sitting here thinking, like, I didn't think about that. I didn't know, you know. So okay.
Now,
all right, DeAndre, we're gonna stop.
Yes,
we're gonna stop right there. All right.
Okay.
So I have my thoughts, but I'm going to ask anyone else to chime in right now. Give your feedback, your critique. First off, say who you are, give your input, and then ask DeAndre anything before I come back with my thoughts. So, guys, go ahead, unmute, to say who you are, and then chime in. Someone? Anyone?
Hello? I'm here.
Okay, so DeAndre, since there may be one other person on the call, I'm not totally sure.
I'm here. I'm still here, but I don't have any questions.
Okay.
I'm listening.
So all right. I'm going to tell you, DeAndre, smooth as butter, sir. So, but this goes back to, I know you've practiced and you've gone through and you've worked through your scripts. You know the LP Mama. And what I want everyone to understand when you guys listen to this playback is that these are the same questions from the LP Mama, but now that in this scenario we're face to face, DeAndre, the first thing he asked, he opened up with that question that I love. Hey, tell me about yourself. Tell me who you are, where you're from, what you're doing. He's finding out, he made common ties immediately that he's not from here either, that he understands, you know, coming from somewhere else, living here. I made the comment about the beach. You know what, he did the same thing when he wasn't living on the beach. Now when he was or when he wasn't. So there are reasons now for me to get to like Andre or DeAndre, and then I can go in and we can strengthen the relationship. So fantastic job there, sir. Any critiques that you have of yourself?
Not necessarily. The thing is, it's one of those things that repetition, like when you talk to enough people and make it a conversation, as opposed to more sound like a robot. You know, people don't like robots; they like people, and that's one thing. Just based on the background, it's all about getting to know the person. So, and people do business with people they like, not because of people that just want to take orders. So that's just. I just like to put that out there because that's just my experience in the sales industry. So
now this goes back to, guys, I don't know if you guys, DeAndre has extensive sales background from being you were sales manager, right?
Yeah.
For big car deals and all that. Yeah, car dealership sales manager and all that. Okay. So one thing that I would ask you to consider implementing is, instead of having to ask 5 or 6 questions to get 5 or 6 pieces of information, you could ask one question and then let me talk. For instance, you could say, well, how many bedrooms and bathrooms do you need and square footage, right? That way you could just ask that question once, and then I could just talk, and as I'm talking and rambling on, it doesn't seem like an interrogation. It seems like, okay, he asked me one question that had 3 parts. Now he's just letting me talk, right? So try to condense the number of questions we ask, and then just put commas instead of periods or question marks. You got it?
Understood.
All right, but man, super sharp. Loved it. Loved the flow. How you went from one. Now, do you have your sheet, your LP Mama sheet or paper in front of you right now as you're doing this or not?
No, I do not.
So this is just you knowing the pieces of information that you have to get.
This is knowing the main information here exactly that I know that I want to know about the customer in order to help the service.
Okay. All right. So great job, sir. Just continue to refine, continue to work on your flow, ask fewer questions, like as far as the number of questions, but then just get more out of each question that you ask. So great job. Hats off to you, sir. Anyone else on? DeAndre, go ahead and mute, but pay attention or listen up for your name because I might be calling back on you right now. Anyone else on? Prime, are you on, ma'am?
Yes, I'm still here.
Good stuff. How are you today?
I am good, thank you. How are you?
All right. I am well. I would love to hear an update or a recap of your consultation that you had on yesterday.
Oh my God! So it was interesting.
Wait. Okay, so DeAndre, just to give you some insight on this, Prime, she came to the training on Monday. She had a buyer consult with an investor on yesterday, and she was a little shaky, a little nervous. So now Prime is going to give us a recap. We're going to ask her some questions, and we're going to listen to her recap. Then she's going to tell us what she thought went well. She's going to tell us what she thinks she can improve on, and then you and I or anyone else that's on, then we'll ask Prime some questions. So Prime, you have the floor, ma'am.
Okay. So basically, she's looking for land and to put shipping containers in. So that was something so new to me. I was like, okay, I will find out because basically that's what she's looking for. And she was like, oh, I know we do first-time home buyers. Is there a way to use that first-time home buyer?
Hold on, Prime. I'm getting a big echo from somewhere. So if you guys are on and it's not Prime talking, if you guys could just mute it, please. Okay, Prime, go ahead, ma'am.
Okay. So basically, she knows I do first-time home buyers. Is there a way to use that first-time home buyer thing and then purchase land for shipping containers?
And what was your answer?
I will find out because I've never heard of this before. Like, she showed me pictures and stuff. Like, you should have seen my face. Like, you can tell when I don't know something, you can definitely see it on my face. And
that is something that you're going to have to work on. You've got to increase your poker face. You've got to be stoic at times because we never want to show and say, have that deer in headlights. That's, oh my God, I don't know what she is, and she can tell by looking at my face.
Yeah, like shipping containers, like that would look nice in other countries. I've seen that, but not like, oh, okay.
Now, when you say shipping containers, is this for her to create or for the shipping containers to store, or is this for to live
create, like to create for people to live, some kind of deal like that?
Okay, so just so you know, so this is one of the new trends outside of the U.S. They're trying to do it here in the United States. The Miami Association, they're called container homes. So the Miami Association was just approved and they just broke ground for the first container home in South Florida. Now, I can tell you, as someone who has seen the process, as someone who has been behind the scenes as it's worked, it is very difficult right now to get it approved because of all of the red tape that the people have to go through, making sure that the permits, all that is not as easy as it is in other countries. And then the conversion of the shipping containers into a container home, making sure that it's hurricane rated, all of these things set back. And so then the landscape requirements, all of that, it is not easy. Now, go ahead. So I know a site that I'll send you just on some information for that. So you'll have that information after the phone call.
Okay, thank you. And I did have like another person, but that was just residential, so that was easy.
Okay, so when you say easy, so first let's stick to the investor, then we're going to go to the residential. Okay, so from the investor, what do you think went well?
I did ask how you doing and stuff like that. So that part, like that conversation where we're not talking about business, that part went well. But when it
Okay.
comes to like getting the information out there, so what area you think I should do the containers in? What areas you think will be like that part? I was like so shocked, and like the whole time I kept thinking I will find out about it because I do residential. I kept going back to like I do residential, not like
do you understand that by you continuing to say you do residential, you're telling her, hey, I'm not good at this stuff? Because it's not always so that's what we have to be careful of in what we say and how we say it. Because if you continue to say you do residential and you think, well, that's a defense, that's in my defense. So if this goes wrong, you're almost telling this person, hey, I don't know if I want your business or I don't know if you should want me to help you, right? One of the ways that we can avoid that or being blindsided up front is to have a stronger conversation on the call, right? So to get more information on the call prior to meeting or get more information prior to the meeting via email, right? So what type of investment are you looking to do? What are you looking for? You know, so you want to go through on that phone call prior to meeting. You want to get as much information as you can by going through that LP Mama. All right. Okay. So what else?
And then, so since the container thing, I was like, so definitely the duplex and triplex. And then she went to that duplex and triplex, and she's like, so how can I do that? Because I would love to leave in one. And then because if the shipping container thing doesn't work now, she was like, okay, we can talk about that later. But I would love to live in one and then rent out the other one. Can I still use the first-time home buyer to do that kind of thing?
And what was your answer?
So, same thing. I really wasn't prepared, like literally.
Okay, now what I want you to see is, so now if you're telling her that you really do residential, and then you guys start talking about residential, and you're not prepared there, what is she's going to say, oh, so you don't do investment or residential, right? So that's one of the things.
I was thinking kind of like, because if you're going to live in one, do income with the other one, it becomes like a business type of thing. So that's what was in my mind, and I was like, yeah, that's possible as well, but I'll find out for you. Because I haven't had that case before. Because the people that come to me, they look for like a single family home and stuff. But I did present that to her. I'm like, okay, what about if we find a single family home? Would you be interested in that? She's like,
now let me show you, just from me talking, let me show you what it sounds like happened. So when she came up with the container home, right, you were like, oh, well, what about the triplex and duplex? Then she started talking about triplex and duplex. And then you're like, oh, what about a single-family home, right? So now I had this idea over here. You took me to, I was at A, you took me to B, and then you took me to C, but I still have questions about A, right? So we have to make sure that we're not just only operating in what we're comfortable and what's best for us. We have to say, okay, can I do what's best for the client and still be able to service them? If not, is it something where you refer them out, right? Or what do you do? Okay. So now, with you saying that you are a first-time specialist, all right, you have to understand how much information. So do you understand how the first-time buyer process works with grants and loans and funds and all of that?
That's the thing. No, I don't. And that's what I realized, that I'm just been saying something that I really know how it works in the back end.
Okay. So your homework is that you have to know what niche you're going to serve. If that's going to be your foundation, if you're saying that you're a first-time buyer specialist, you have to know the ins and outs of that. So what I would love for you to do is start doing your homework there. Find out, and for first-time buyers, funding is such a big part of it, right? So I know that Cheryl has a contact over at Van Dyke, Gabby, who does a lot with first-time buyers. I believe that she would be a great resource for you to reach out to. Dan Longman over at Priority, he does a lot of FHA and first-time loans. I think you should speak with them. You should start asking them, hey, what's something that I need to know as an agent working with them on the funding side, because finding a property, hell, they can find the property themselves, right? The reality is they can find property themselves. What you have to know is let me start learning the ins and outs, the basic questions of what a first-time buyer is going to ask me as far as financing happens, right, or deals with. So I would ask Gabby and I would ask Dan those questions. What information can you give me? What homework do I need to look at? What do I need to know? What types of programs and what are the qualifications that the borrower needs to reach or need to meet in order to qualify for this type of program, for that type of program? Now, if it's going to be assistance funds like down payment assistance, DPAs and all that, I would go to Gabby because she knows more. She deals with that more. Cheryl knows more about that. But these are things that if you want to say you are any type of specialist in this, you have to know it. That's like me saying I'm an international real estate specialist and me having no idea what exchange rates are. That means that I have no idea about time zones or the way different cultures do business, and not wearing leather when I'm in India and shaking a woman's hand when I'm in Saudi Arabia. If I were to do that, then that just shows that I am unversed. Now, what we don't want to do, we don't want to present ourselves as a professional in something, and then our actions be the total opposite of what our words are.
Okay. No,
okay.
You're right. So, I will find out about this. Yeah. Thank you.
Now, and what I want to say to you and everyone that's listening to the call or to the playback is that if we are going to do this, we have to be prepared. The worst thing that happens is that we have an opportunity. We have an opportunity, and then we blow that opportunity, and then what happens psychologically is we stop looking for new opportunities, right? So we'll say, hey, I want this. I want to have this income. I want to have this many number of sales. But then when we go out there and we just bomb on a buyer consultation or a marketing consultation for sellers, then we'll say, oh, well, I don't know if I can do this. And then the next time an opportunity comes to set an appointment, we'll self-sabotage, right? And then next thing we know, we'll self-sabotage the next one because we don't want to feel like a failure because we're unprepared. Because it's easier not to prepare than it is to prepare and then to ask for business. So if the casual part of the conversation is coming easy for you, then now what we have to do is we have to get confident in your knowledge and skill base on the bottom, and then asking for business and being confident on the back end of that, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Now, it is a lot, but we're going to go. That's why we're having these calls on Wednesdays. That's why we're still having these Zoom meetings on Thursdays, and that's what I'll be diving into, showing you guys on the screen, showing you guys on video, some things that we can actually implement. But it is going to require a lot of work from each and every one of us. All right?
Yeah.
All right, so you can go ahead and mute. Anyone else have anything else this morning?
Oh, I just wanted to also ask you, Neil, in that situation, the buyer is looking to do something that's new to the market. Would it be, like for me, I was thinking like to ask more questions about that type of business, that to see what the expertise level is in the client. Therefore, to see if it's something that they're just starting out to do, to know how much time is going to be put into it, and then also call you. I mean, I leverage you. I know I ask you a question if I don't know. So I think that's something to also think about as well.
Absolutely. So a great question that DeAndre or a great technique would be, well, hey, I was thinking about putting up container homes and, doing this with the shipping containers. I'll be like, oh, that's exciting. How much do you know about container homes and container conversions? And if they say nothing, I'm going to ask another question. So how did this become your first option? Did you see it in a magazine? Did you see it online? Did someone else do one that you know about? Are you a part of this, and this? And so then I would want to find out why is it? What is it about this? Right? It's the same thing. That's the same qualifying question as when DeAndre asked me earlier in the call, well, why the move? Why are you looking to be here? Why east of? Because he said, well, is the proximity to the beach important to you? I'm like, well, no, the motivation for being east of 95 is because I travel, right, for work, right? So in this case, we were like, well, what's the motivation for a container home, right? Are you trying to be groundbreaking, or are you trying to make money as an investor? If you're going to do an investor, it's not always. The majority of the time, it's better to find something that's already built. It might be in a subpar either condition or location, because we want to try to find something under market value. But this all goes back to understanding and knowing how to use the tools that are in your toolbox, the words, the questions, the phrases that you want to ask, right? I did a post on Instagram earlier this week. It says, judge a man by the questions he asks, not by the answers he gives, right? So the more questions, the better our questions, the better the information that we're going to be able to get in return. So great point there, DeAndre. And then once you encounter something that you don't know, shoot me over a text or give me a call and say, Neil, I have a question about this. And it's crazy because Miami Association is going through the container home. I know Stanya, she went to the groundbreaking for the container home down in Miami, and just using the resources that we have. But then you should even find out if this is a viable option for your client, or how much time, as DeAndre said, how much time are we going to devote to something that isn't even a realistic opportunity or possibility. So thank you for that, DeAndre. Anything else from anyone else?
I'm good. That's from me.
All right, guys. So thank you, Prime. Thank you, DeAndre, for contributing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get this video. It's going to go up on YouTube, and let me see. Yeah, it's going to go up on YouTube. I will send you guys the link for that so you can go back and listen to the playback of what I think was a very well-conducted buyer consultation with DeAndre, so hats off to him. Don't forget to be on tomorrow for the Zoom meeting. We're going to do that. I'm making as much training as possible or available as possible for you guys because the feeling that I had after the meeting on Monday was not good. Just seeing how unprepared we were when business is in front of us. And I want to make sure that is not the case. If you guys are listening to the playback and you did not get on the actual phone call, I'm going to stress that you guys get on these calls. Be willing to be vulnerable. Prime is willing to be vulnerable. She's telling us her headaches, her heartaches, her frustrations, what she's dealing with as it happens. DeAndre did the same thing today. I know you guys might not want to do the role playing. I'm telling you, 14 years in, it's the only way that you're going to get better is by practicing in the hot seat, going through the calls, going through the scenarios, going through the role plays. Otherwise, your pocket is going to suffer, and then that's it. And you're going to be out of the business in 2019 or 2020 if you're able to live through the year that long. So thank you, guys. Love you. Keep an eye out for the link that's going to be coming up really quickly today because I'm going to be able to get that done. If nothing else, you guys take care. Have a great day.
Thank you, Neil. Thank you, DeAndre. Bye.
All right. Bye.